England's national economic system in the 19th century was characterized by significant transformations driven by the Industrial Revolution, shifts in agricultural practices, and evolving trade policies. This period saw England transition from an agrarian economy to an industrial powerhouse, with profound impacts on social structures, urbanization, and global influence. The 19th century began with England already experiencing the early stages of the Industrial Revolution, which had started in the late 18th century. The revolution was marked by the transition from hand production methods to machines, the development of new chemical manufacturing processes, the increasing use of steam power, and the rise of the factory system. These changes fundamentally altered the economic landscape of England. A key feature of England's economy during this period was the mechanization of the textile industry. Innovations such as the spinning jenny, the water frame, and the power loom revolutionized textile production, making it more efficient and allowing for mass production. This mechanization led to the establishment of large factories, primarily in the northern regions of England, which became the heart of industrial activity. The coal mining industry also saw significant growth, as coal became the primary energy source for steam engines and factories. The demand for coal spurred advancements in mining technology and transportation infrastructure, particularly the expansion of the railway network. Railways not only facilitated the efficient movement of coal, but also enabled the distribution of manufactured goods across the country and beyond. The development of the iron and steel industries was another critical component of England's economic transformation. The invention of processes such as the puddling furnace and the Bessemer converter allowed for the mass production of iron and steel, which were essential materials for constructing machinery, railways, and buildings. These industries contributed to England's reputation as the workshop of the world. Agriculture, while still significant, underwent substantial changes due to the agricultural revolution. Innovations in farming techniques such as crop rotation, selective breeding of livestock, and the use of new machinery like the seed drill increased agricultural productivity. Enclosure movements consolidated small plots of land into larger farms, which were more efficient but often displaced small farmers, leading to rural depopulation and increased urban migration. Urbanization was a defining feature of 19th century England as people moved from rural areas to cities in search of work. Industrial cities such as Manchester, Birmingham, and Liverpool grew rapidly, characterized by bustling factories and burgeoning populations. This urban growth brought challenges, including overcrowded housing, poor sanitation, and difficult working conditions, which led to social reforms later in the century. England's economic system was also heavily influenced by its trade policies. The country embraced free trade principles, particularly after the repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846. The Corn Laws had imposed tariffs on imported grain, protecting domestic producers but raising food prices. Their repeal marked a shift towards free trade, reducing food prices and fostering international trade relationships. England's global trade networks expanded significantly during the 19th century, supported by its colonial empire. The British Empire provided access to raw materials such as cotton, tea, and rubber, which were essential for industrial production. In return, England exported manufactured goods to its colonies and other parts of the world. This trade network facilitated economic growth and solidified England's position as a leading global economic power. The financial sector in England also played a crucial role in supporting industrial and economic growth. The City of London emerged as a global financial centre, with banks, insurance companies, and the stock exchange providing the necessary capital for industrial expansion and international trade. The development of joint stock companies allowed for the pooling of resources and risk sharing, further promoting investment in industrial ventures. The economic growth and industrialization of the 19th century were accompanied by significant social and political changes. The rise of a new industrial middle class, composed of factory owners, merchants, and financiers, challenged the traditional power of the landed aristocracy. This shift in economic power influenced political reforms, including the extension of voting rights and the introduction of measures to address social inequalities. Labor movements gained momentum during this period as workers sought to improve their working conditions and wages. Trade unions began to form, advocating for labor rights and organizing strikes. The Chartist movement, which emerged in the 1830s and 1840s, called for political reforms such as universal male suffrage, secret ballots, and better representation in Parliament. Education and public health reforms were also part of the broader social changes. The Factory Acts, beginning in the early 19th century, sought to regulate working hours and conditions, particularly for women and children. Public health initiatives aimed at improving sanitation and housing conditions in rapidly growing urban areas, responding to the challenges posed by industrialization. Technological advancements continued to drive economic growth throughout the century. The introduction of the telegraph revolutionized communication, allowing for faster and more efficient business transactions. The development of steamships improved maritime trade, further integrating England into the global economy. The second half of the 19th century saw continued industrial expansion and the emergence of new industries such as chemicals, electrical engineering, and automobiles. Scientific discoveries and innovations, particularly in chemistry and engineering, fueled this growth. Notable figures like Michael Faraday and James Clerk Maxwell made significant contributions to the fields of electromagnetism and physics, laying the groundwork for future technological developments. The economic system of 19th century England was not without its challenges and criticisms. The rapid pace of industrialization and urbanization led to significant social and environmental problems. The working class faced harsh conditions, long hours, and low wages in factories, while urban areas struggled with overcrowding, pollution, and inadequate infrastructure. Philanthropists and social reformers, such as Robert Owen and Charles Dickens, highlighted these issues and called for change. Owen, a factory owner and social reformer, implemented progressive labor practices in his mills and advocated for cooperative societies. Dickens, through his novels, brought attention to the plight of the poor and the need for social reforms. Towards the end of the 19th century, England faced increasing competition from other industrializing nations such as Germany and the United States. These countries adopted and improved upon England's industrial techniques, leading to shifts in global economic power. Despite this competition, England remained a dominant economic force, continuing to innovate and expand its industrial base. In conclusion, the national economic system of England in the 19th century was marked by profound transformations driven by the Industrial Revolution, shifts in agricultural practices, and evolving trade policies. The period saw England transition from an agrarian economy to an industrial powerhouse, with significant impacts on social structures, urbanization, and global influence. Technological advancements, free trade principles, and financial sector development played crucial roles in shaping England's economic landscape. However, the rapid pace of change also brought challenges, including social inequalities, labor struggles, and environmental issues, which necessitated reforms and responses from various sectors of society.